Hey, what's up guys, I'm Xteria and this is my TFT Set 11 guide. Before we get right into it, let's talk about the theme and the aesthetic of Set 11. The name of the set is Inkborn Fables, where we explore a mystical and ancient world filled with mythological creatures and legendary heroes. Basically, the aesthetic is like a Chinese traditional painting. Alright, now we're gonna talk about the gimmick of the set. The gimmick of Inkborn Fables is encounters, where you meet characters from this set that give you new rules and or a gift. This means when you play set 11, your games will always be different each game you play. Therefore, you have to learn how to be adaptive each game you play. An example, I started a game where I encountered Zoe, and she gave a rule where we can only have odd numbered levels, and XP was adjusted. Word on the street is, I heard that there is an encounter from Kane where he just ends the game at 5-4 no matter what. Now we move on to the new and unique traits and synergies. Before we talk about our first trait, I'm not gonna really talk about the easier ones to understand, such as Duelist, where it's just attack speed, or even like Porcelain, even though it's unique to this set. It's just attack speed and damage reduction after casting, so with that in mind, we're gonna start with Dragon Lord. After 8 seconds in combat, your board glows up into a golden light that gives your units attack speed, and Dragon Lord units gain true damage. Faded. To use this trait, you have to hover a faded unit over another faded unit. This so links the two, giving them bonus health and their unique bonus stats. Example, Affiliate's bonus stat is damage, and Kindred is attack speed. If you have Faded 2 active, all faded units gain their bonus stats. Heavenly. This trait gives bonus stats to your board depending on what unit you put in, and their start level. Example, Kha'Zix gives you more crit to your board, while Malphite gives you more armor and magic resist. Ink Shadow gives a unique item that you can put on any unit. Doesn't have to be an Ink Shadow unit. As we see here on the bottom left, Kaisa has an Ink Shadow item, Tattoo of Bombardment. This item gives attack damage and attack speed, and what this item does is, every third auto attack, it shoots a bolt at the two lowest health units. Mythics. The Mythic units gain stats every round, capping to 4. After max stacks, the stats are increased to 50% more. Each stacks is unique to each unit. As we can see here on the screen, the front two side units, Tahm Kench and Cho'Gath, has max stacks, while the rest of the board only has 1. Story Weaver. This energy summons KO that allows you to pick a stat for her. More Story Weavers, the more stats you can pick for her. Umbral. When you activate this energy, it highlights some hexes that allow any units to get shields. And if you have Umbral units in it, they can execute. If you have Umbral 3, it highlights the whole board. Exalted is randomly put on any unit, meaning every game is not always the same Exalted units. This energy gives 5% damage and more based on your level. After each round, you gain 1 core that you can sell for XP. Now we're gonna highlight over the new and cool units in set 11. Here we got a unique unit that does not exist in League of Legends yet, which is Kuboko. He's one of the best like 1 cost tanks you could start with. And a champion that might come out in League of Legends soon, which is Alune. She's a very powerful 3 cost reroll unit that can almost one-shot the board and debuff the board. A unit that is most assassin-like in set 11 is Yone. What he would do is he would dash to the back lines and just auto them to death. A funny unit that they did to this set, which is like the old Nunu from previous set, is Tahm Kench. He would swallow them whole. A reused unit that they did back in the day, which was a legendary unit but now a 4 cost unit, is Ornn. He would craft an item and give it to his allies. A unit I think is pretty unique for this set is Morgana, because what they did with her for this set is they reused like one of the old items back in the day, which is Iceborne Gauntlet, and this item what it does is it creates a freezing zone which slows down attack speed. Over the course of other sets, Annie has always been a backline, long range, magic dealer mage, but now in this set, she's a frontline tank that summons Tibbers, and Tibbers just beat everyone up. And now we get to the fun part, which is Xayah and Rakan. This counts as 1 unit, so how you summon Xayah or Rakan is by putting this unit in the back line, which summons Xayah, dealing damage, and if you put this unit in the front line, it summons Rakan, which is debuffing the enemies. Set is also another funny unit they added to the set, where he would have 2 units next to him and he would lift them to gain extra bonus damage. And then afterwards, he would just suplex them into submission. The last unique and interesting unit I'm going to talk about is Hui. Hui creates a zone in your bench where if you put a unit on it, it will create a copy after a certain amount of rounds that the unit is in there. So, if it's a 3 cost champion, it will take 3 rounds for it to duplicate. If it's a 5 cost champion, it will take 5 costs for it to duplicate. And his ability is just him just using his regular ult from League, where it's just AoE magic damage. And that is it for my guide. If you have any questions, or if you want to see me play this new set, just check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/xteria. Until then, I'll see you next time. Later.